Hello, my YouTube beauties. I hope you all had a fantastic Easter. The weather is getting nice. I'm on my spring break. Today is Tuesday, April 11th. I wasn't going to do a video about the Jamie Foxx show, but I said, oh, what the heck. So, Jamie Foxx, for me, the cast members were not good. For me, and it's a lot of people. It's funny because a lot of millennials, they don't, Jamie Foxx is, they like, oh, Jamie Foxx is alright. Like, nobody sits down and watches the reruns. Like, Martin is classic. My son even likes Martin. My father likes Martin. Martin is very funny. And Martin is not just Martin that's funny. The whole cast is funny. Even Gina, even though Gina is not as funny, but she has a sense of humor. So when she has the reactions to stuff or her squeaky voice, that's what makes her funny. But in the Jamie Foxx show, none of them are funny. Helen, she has like a sense of humor. Junior has a sense of humor, but they're not really funny. Like, Braxton is not funny. Fancy's definitely not funny. She don't have no sense of humor. Like, all her parts is serious. Like, she's cute to look at, but she's not. I don't know how she got on a sitcom because she don't even have a sense of humor. And Jamie is literally carrying the show. Like, Jamie is the whole show. And I feel like for a sitcom, you can't do that. You gotta have, everybody has to be funny. Like in the Parkers, you have Monique, Queen of Comedy, and you had Kim. Two heavy hitters, two funny women. And then Stevie was funny, T was funny, Professor Ogilvy was hilarious. He was like a corny guy, but he was very funny. Like, everybody who came on the podcast was funny. But for Jamie Foxx, it's like Jamie was carrying the whole show. And I think what made people watch it was he was so talented. He was funny. He could sing. He had different artists come on the show. Ronald Isley, Mary J. Blige, Jodeci. He had a lot of people come on the show that were artists, and that's what made people watch it. Another thing about the Jamie Foxx show that I noticed was the episodes don't connect. So you have an episode where Helen gets robbed, and then the next episode, Junior has a daughter. They don't connect at all. So that kind of like, if you miss an episode or two, you're not missing nothing. Whether as the Parkers or Moesha, if you miss an episode or two, it's kind of like, well, what did I miss? So that's another thing I don't like about Jamie Foxx show. Like, it doesn't connect. And the positive thing about Jamie Foxx is Braxton has a master's, and Fancy is the hotel clerk. Usually, in the real world today in 2003, it's usually the other way around. But that was positive about Braxton. Braxton was corny, but he was educated, he was cultured. I remember having a crush on Braxton when I was a kid. Like, oh, Braxton, like, who doesn't want a Braxton? Like, he might be he's corny, but he's handsome, he's educated, and he's cultured. And that's important to me. Like, somebody I could, there's nothing wrong with going to a comedy show or a rap concert, but I need to know that you're going to come with me to the Opera House. I need to know that you're going to be okay with me coming to see a Broadway play. I do it all. I'm very, very, what's a word for me? I'm very versatile. So any man that I date, they have to be at least open-minded to my lifestyle and what I like to do. So, but then you see, one thing I wanted to talk about was how horrible of a character Jamie was. So watching Jamie Foxx and you see that Fancy wasn't interested in dating him, it wasn't just his look, it was how he presented himself. He was very disrespectful. If you want to date a woman, you're not supposed to come on to her in a sexual way. You should be like, oh, you know what? I find you very attractive. You think we could go out for drinks? You think we should hang out? He was very sexual with her. He very rude. He's very disrespectful and self-centered. He was an idiot. There's an episode where Fancy's like, he don't know the difference between a debit and a credit card. Like, Jamie Foxx's character was just so horrible. And as an adult, you know, as a kid, I couldn't understand, well, why she don't like Jamie? But as an adult, I'm watching it like, Jamie was an idiot. Jamie was like, you know, Jamie was like a dreamer. And it's nothing wrong with having dreams, but, you know, he was just an asshole, if you will, you know. So it's like Braxton is the better choice. If you have what are you gonna do? Choose corny or choose rude? You know, Jamie was just rude and disrespectful. He was over sexual. He basically only wanted one thing from Fancy and treated her really bad throughout the show. He was a good friend at times, but he didn't come at her correctly. Like, nobody wants that. You just coming at them sexually. Like, that's annoying, you know. Understandable, he was attracted to her, but you could tone it down a little bit and be like, oh, let's talk, or let's hang out, or let's go for a cup of coffee. You know, like, you don't have to be sexual all the time. So that's a turn off. And then, you know, he was just an idiot. Like, you know, so watching the show as an adult, it's like, oh, like, I wouldn't want to date Jamie either. Somebody at work, you know, coming at me like that or whatever, you know. His conversation never makes sense, you know. But, yeah, those are my thoughts of Jamie Foxx. He was carrying the show. He was the only one that was funny. And, I see why Fancy didn't want to date. Now, later on, they do become a couple. And I remember the episode where he's like, oh, and this is Fancy. Like, he don't even, like, present her as his girl. So even while they were together, he was just no good. You know, so. But, I think I don't know if they get married. I didn't get that. I'm on season 3. So I've been binge watching since Saturday. Sunday I was out all day. Yesterday I went grocery shopping. So I'm just watching it like, oh, okay. Like, I remember a lot of certain episodes. His mother was played by Gladys Knight, and then Family Matters mom. And she gets married to some younger guy. You know, the song What I Wouldn't Do For Your Love, I always remember that, you know. I just didn't remember it was from Gerald Levert episode. Rest in peace to Gerald Levert. But, yeah. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts. Jamie Foxx, as you know, he's an accomplished musician in real life. He can sing his ass off. And Ray, he did a good job. Any movie that he's ever done was really good. So, yeah. Those are my thoughts.